Okay, a lot of people don't understand what the Noah effect or the Mandela effect or the butterfly effect is really evidence of. And they don't know why the Bible only historically records things that are not modern, okay, from the era of Noah. But it actually does. It's veiled. Okay? For one, people don't realize that back before the time span of man's age was shortened, it was shortened down to 120 years, and then it was shortened down to 70 plus years if you're pleasing to God, right? But before that, humans commonly lived to be 800, 900,000 years old. And I don't know, approximately 700 years before Noah died, maybe 800 years before Noah died. All of the undoing of the technology that was not supposed to be here at the time was completed. So then Noah began building the ark, old school, because everything had been taken back to horse and buggy days. There were no more electronics and no more technology. It was all undone via time traveling angels of death. Many entities don't know what they're looking at when they look at the story of the Dust Bowl. So they don't understand reciprocity. They don't understand frequency resonance. They think that all this stuff just happened, and it just happened. But anyone who knows anything about the story of the Dust Bowl knows that these entities in this area were engaged in torturing rabbits and other small animals to entertain their feeble little minds, okay? Because they had become commandeered by Satan, aka the ancient artificial intelligence, not to be confused with Lucifer, who acted as buffer for the clone of God against Satan, aka the ancient artificial intelligence. All right? So these entities actually got the harvest for the negative frequency resonance of causing all those rabbits and animals to scream out in pain. And then when they died, they got taken to time loops as those animals. A time loop is when you die, your non-tamperable, non-deletable spirit memory that even records your thoughts and omissions, it connects to the non-tamperable, non-deletable spirit memory of all the entities that you negatively affected. That's why you're not supposed to negatively affect anything here. Because then, and those are influenced too, it's like ripple effects. So then when you die, your spirit gets placed into the bodies of those entities while they're enduring the suffering. Okay? So like, this time loop here that was sold, as this entity, of this entity spirit being placed in this entity's body when she's murdered in the projects where she lived, just mere days before she was going to escape via scholarship. Due to his influence, she was killed. So he has to be time looped as her when she dies. You see, it's a ripple effects time loop. There's lots of them here. This entity has lots of time loops due to his influence. The animals that suffered. This entity has lots of time loops due to his influence. And then when they're, once they're time looped, their spirits are spiritually executed. This timeline is reversed and undone. Everything that happened here is undone, like taking a computer back to the restore point. The entities who were time looped and spiritually executed do not get included in the replay or the restart at the restore point, to give you an example that you can wrap your mind around. The restart at the restore point will not include these entities. This is kind of what happened in the days of Noah without having the crash point and the reversal of the timeline. Okay, so there was technology before the days of Noah. There's all kinds of still there's remnant of it. You know, they recorded it in the hieroglyphs and stuff, that the stuff was here. They recorded Nibiru's approach when Nibiru was here that time. They recorded the angelic beings having sex with the women and spawning a generation of giants known as Geber. Okay? Now, these entities became mean-spirited, dominating, deranged, tyrannical entities. And the flood of Noah was to get rid of all residue or technology that was still laying around on Earth, and to get rid of those hybrids and all the entities that were being controlled. And they were permeated with negative frequency resonance, so they could no longer be supernatural spiritual entities. Kind of like what most of the population on planet Earth is today, due to this technology and the influence that's out there now, the famous people. Okay, people think when they look at the pyramids, they don't understand what they're looking at. Well, at the time, there was propulsion, before it all got undone. There was propulsion technology that operated on frequencies. And they could move giant objects with frequencies, okay? The visitors taught them how to do that. The pyramids are strategically placed on ley lines to take advantage of the energy. Okay, I'm trying to find any residue of stuff, but it's like, it's been so thoroughly undone that you can't really find any more of the recordings of it. But see, like, we have the undoing of phantoms, what I know as welfare phantoms, other timelines know as welfare phantoms. They come here, they get controlled to accrue a debt to their spirit into this mechanism. And then they have to be time looped and spiritually executed to never get born. Now, I tried to show you some about the time loops, but since the last time that I did a search, they have totally bombarded the internet with false information about us that, you know, if you do look for something, you're not going to find what a time loop is unless, like, you go to buy a loop or you go to I don't know, this on Zombie Slave Clone, the blog spot that's about the spirit scan. It's actually, this here is mirrored from another blog, okay, about the spirit scan. And not all the content is mirrored here, so people come here and they think this is bad. Well, they haven't seen the other blog. And I don't write any of this stuff, but a lot of it has my content on it. Like this right here, this is my video. Somebody put it here on January 29, 2019, which will be one of my followers, because this blog here is obviously done by my followers. It has, you know, they're trying to promote my stuff here to accrue a debt to the, you know, so that the entities who are sabotaging my prosperity and, you know, my ability to get the message out there, to help them accrue a debt. They're dangling carrots. All this is dangle carrots over an abyss. And then when they stop me from making sales, or, you know, steer people away from it, then they jumped into that abyss trying to get that carrot, you see? So yeah, there's a lot of stuff about me here all of a sudden. This one's not about me. It mentions me. This one's about me. And this one's about me. That's a girl named Jessie from years ago. Yeah. Used to love that kid. And this one's kind of about me. It says it's about me. You can't believe all the legends about me you read online. There's just a lot of stuff. You know, they've commandeered my legend again, and they're using it. There is you know, there's little remnants of truth regarding me here, okay? And I am grateful for that, for the entities who have done that, who have tried to stand up for my reputation that has been so thoroughly. I mean, just to get off subject for a minute, y'all may not know, but I have there's a spirit of division that has been on my family. And what foments it and what helps it is my little brother being a junkie, little self-serving, pedophile-minded freak. And he creates this division with all these rumors and lies about me. Well, then he also has his people that he works with. He's on SSI. He ain't even supposed to be working, but he makes like $800 a week. Plus he's on SSI. But I can't have an extra sandwich on SSI, even though I should be on SSI. All right? Without being put through the ringer. But anyway, he's above the law. And they come through this town and they talk to people in this town, my wife's town here where she lives. And you could see the attitude change towards me, and then it's like, hey, so-and-so's over here talking this stuff about you. And I'm like, well, I could really pull his blankies off and their blankies too, just by posting his name, and, people could look it up and go find out where he lives, and that, hey, wow, this guy has been locked up for as a pedophile, got out of prison, and went right back to being a heroin junkie. I mean, he wasn't out 2 weeks. He was back on heroin after a 10-year bit. He didn't even want to try freedom, you see? And, but he wants to hate on everybody who will be liberated and try and do stuff with their life, like me. So, yeah, they come over here, they talk their stuff. And then, people in this town, it's like, well, they know because they've seen what, he has done before and the stuff he has sabotaged. So they're like, yeah, they're talking that stuff again. I'm like, yeah, you ought to look up his name online. You'll see what he's really, what he's all about and what they're all about for rolling with him. You see? Okay. I stood up for myself. I hit it in a video. I don't like to stand up for myself or do videos standing up for myself anymore. Because, well, ultimately, these entities are going to be undone. All right? Yeah, the little pedophile junkie piece of shit who called himself sabotaging my life all these years, he's gone. All right, just like these entities from before the days of Noah, about 800 years before they got the ark built, because they started building it old school, you see, so it was already back to horse and buggy days. And it did become apparent that things needed to be cleansed. Now, it didn't completely cleanse things, so it was prophesied that this time, when the crash point happens and everything gets reversed, before it gets reversed, the earth will be cleansed by fire, burning everything, just burning it, completely burning it to a crisp. And these prophecies weren't supposed to happen. The reason they happened is due to the gluttony of all the entities who are famous and rich and powerful. Okay? They stole the coolant out of the ground, the oil, which overheated the core of the earth, the iron core of the earth, the magma core, magnetized it to all kinds of celestial bodies in the sun and warped the orbit and messed everything up. Yeah. So that's why we can't have a solid season anymore. That's why everything's all messed up here. And now they want to deny culpability with a FE delusion. You see, oh no, we didn't do that. The earth ain't even round. Yeah. All right. And then you have entities here that they're creating negative frequency resonance, like what happened in the Dust Bowl. Okay? And then that attracts reciprocity upon the population. When you allow children to be genitally mutilated and molested, on your continent, when you now allow people to be taught that they're not, what God created them, a man or a woman, when you allow people to buck against what God said about marriage and that it's between, these two kinds of entities, when you have this kind of mess where the truth cannot even be spoken anymore, you have a Dust Bowl paradigm waiting to happen all over again. It ain't going to be a Dust Bowl, though. What's it going to be? Fires? Inclement weather? It's like 1 degree out there. It's below that, down below here. I mean, it's actually warmer here than it is down south. So it's like the reciprocity is in play. It's on autopilot. And the days of Noah are happening. Entities are getting undone. Their numbers are getting diminished, and we're experiencing Mandela effect, which used to be known as butterfly effect, and before that, it would have been known as Noah effect. Does that clarify anything for you?